Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket. You can see by my hat and my shirt, I've got myself all dressed up here. We'll be joined very shortly by Anisha Tucker and also Monty Panesar. But I thought I'd jump on quickly and let you know that in the second match, Kolkata Knight Riders have actually won the toss and have chosen to bowl. So that's Kolkata Knight Riders are elected to actually bowl. So they won the toss and elected the bowl. It's Kolkata Knight Riders against the Chennai Super Kings. And that's just come through. It's interesting because MS Dhoni is also reportedly playing some kickabout and soccer, let's call it, with Bravo and Jagadesh in the beginning before the match. And it looks as though, unfortunately, both of MS Dhoni's parents have actually been diagnosed as or tested positive for COVID-19 back in Ranchi. He's decided to stay back with the squad in Mumbai for the match which is about to take place today. That is between Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders. So we'll be joined very shortly by Anisha and Tucker, as well as, of course, Monty Panesar. And Behram Irani is back after a long time. Nice to see you, Behram Irani. We'll be joined by two other people very shortly. No Man is discussing the Asia Cup. Well, we should discuss that a bit today. Sorry, saying you mentioned that. Certainly. One looked exhausted and burnt out. I would agree. But Behram Irani, I certainly agree that I think he does look burnt out. Certainly does. So I've just mentioned to you Chennai Super Kings versus Kolkata Knight Riders. Kolkata Knight Riders are in fact have won the toss and have elected or chosen to bowl first, which is a pretty bold move. I think that's they're quite happy to chase Chennai Super Kings, maybe put the pressure on the Chennai Super Kings if they bat first. That's interesting because Chennai Super Kings are said to be the favourites to win this match against KKR, but may be different. Well, I think in my pre-match show on Extra Time, as a matter of fact, we talked about the winner of the previous match, the actual Punjab Kings. We all agreed on that panel that the Punjab Kings would actually win, but as it turned out, Sunrise Hyderabad smacked them. Punjab Kings were particularly disappointing. I'd argue particularly disappointing, only scoring 120. And Sunrise Hyderabad, Warner and Bairstow with Williamson at first drop, very solid threesome. We're only one wicket down for 121 when they passed score, with Bairstow hitting a very decent 50, with Warner hitting a score that was also quite commendable. He almost got run out again today, which is interesting. He would have been run out if the actual return had actually hit the stumps. But yeah, I'm disappointed. Like the high score in the Punjab Kings side was 22 by both Shahrukh Khan and Agarwal. I did applaud the selection of Moses Enrique, so that was a very good selection indeed. But in terms of the bowling, Khalil Ahmed certainly proved his worth, and Abhishek Sharma did, and Bhuvi was as good as he normally is. Rashid Khan only took one wicket after his 4 overs. But yeah, Warner scored 37, got out to a shot that he may have regretted, but that's okay. He got 37. Bairstow 63 not out, the highest scorer in a run chase in terms of individual batsmen. And Kane Williamson, solid as ever on 16 off 19, did his job. So at this stage, RCP and Delhi Capitals are certainly at the top of their position on the table. And we've got CSK, depending on what happens today, could well join them up there. RCB have still got to play a match. So really, the top 4 at this point is RCB, DC, CSK and MI, with the bottom 4, Punjab Kings and Rajasthan Royals certainly going to stay there. SRH were slightly off it at the moment, but a long way from completely off it, and KKR having to do it all today to play in their play against CSK. So, Norman, who will be in the 3 players as per each IPL will retain to maintain a team? Okay, let me repeat that. Who will be the 3 players as per you that each IPL team will retain to maintain team identity performance for next year's IPL? That's a loaded question. There's a lot to discuss there. I mean, you would think that all the captains will be retained. Maybe Owen Morgan might be some doubt, but I think all the captains will be retained. I certainly will. You'll see that. I think that's just, captains and upper order batsmen and some bowlers would have to be the choices as a general sense. I don't know whether we can talk individually. Priti Upala will be here later, I'm pretty sure. This is not her time slot. And of course, Aparna Saini will also be here at the post-match session, which will be at some 12:15 a.m. in the morning, which I'll have a session with Aparna. Probably Priti will also be there, and we'll have Dubasha Sen as well from extra time. So we're just waiting on our favourite Anisha Tadalakam. She's just finishing on the work. So going back to that game just for a second, and I'll repeat myself for those who didn't hear me. In the Kolkata Knight Riders CSK game, which is about to start, KKR have chosen to field and therefore chosen to bowl. So they won the toss and chosen to bowl. I'll have to update my postings on that as well. I make a point on my community page each game. You probably are noticing that we'll have the actual posting there, which will show. And in this particular case, I'll be placing. Let's just see if you're watching on the community page. The post will be KKR have won the toss. Pity we don't get to see more of the toss, and now won the toss and elected to bowl. It's funny how there's different ways of saying it. You can elect to bowl, elect to bat, elect to field. Fair enough. Elect to chase. I don't like that. I don't find that a term that I like at all. I don't want people to say that. You don't elect to chase. You don't elect to chase. You don't want to go, I want to go out there and chase. It almost feels like you're chasing the game and losing. You either bat or bowl, and in the bowling situation, you're also fielding. So that's the clear message that you have there. In terms of the teams, we do have the teams, and I'll just read it out to you. Dhoni has said again, the pitch is a bit tacky, so we have to be watchful for the first few overs. There was less dew last game, which is important. So spinners were free to bowl what they wanted to bowl. If you get too much dew, the lengths are different. We've rested Bravo for this game, and Nagidi comes in. So Bravo out, Nagidi in. That's the changes for CSK. And in terms of Morgan, on this ground, chasing seems to be the fashion. Hopefully change of ground brings a change of fortune on Morgan, he says. It's normally a really good wicket for Chennai, obviously a strong team. Hopefully looking for a performance tonight, looking for a fresh mindset. In hindsight, chasing into Chennai hasn't suited us. In this ground, chasing has been productive. Harbhajan misses out, and Nagarkoti is in. Narayan is back in for Shakib. So they're the changes. So interesting changes. Bravo is out, being rested, and I like the terminology, not dropped, but rested. And Nagidi, with his extra pace, is in. And again, back to the KKR side. Harbhajan misses out, not dropped, but misses out. And Nagarkoti is in, with Narayan is back for Shakib. So that's with the Narayan situation. I think that's going to be a telling situation. Nagidi for Bravo. Well, Bravo hasn't played badly. Who designed the shirt and cap? That doesn't sound like a very positive point. But I think, in all fairness, I did. But it's my first ever. I'm going to change it. I'm going to just put eyes on cricket, perhaps, or with Norman. That's it, not the full name. But that's a logo. And it's very basic, but it's just a quick start. Don't worry, guys. In terms of Barami, we're going to get better gear very shortly for all of us. Okay, Jilly Maxwell's book, Catherine McGregor's book, The Don, a book written by Christine Wallace. The Don being, of course, in fact, the private Don, which is a very interesting term. So just waiting on, and they shall be here very shortly, so don't worry about that. I just wanted to, it's just, for those of you who just joined us, again, we need to be aware of who's in the team and who's out. I'm just going to pull up that for us so we have that clear. Again, it's very interesting to see, in fact, how this whole game unwinds. Looks like my local meat shop butcher, not good. Thank you, Barani. It's my first attempt. Had to start somewhere. Thank God for that. We're going to get it better. But Brian, if you want to be able to design, we want to get the people, get the supporters to help me design. There is a design on one of my presentations, PowerPoints, but yeah, local bookshop. Maybe you are right. Well, I'll consider taking that off a minute. I will take that off. Don't worry. So we're just going to check on a few things here. In terms of the match we're about to see, clearly, Chennai Super Kings are the favourites. KKR probably would have earlier on thought they were the favourites, but in fact, I'd say that it's fair enough to say that CSK are deemed to be the favourites. So that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. I'm just making a point there of doing that CSK. Yeah, it's very interesting. I think realistically, these two sides are probably the two playing today, KKR and CSK, are probably vying for that 4th, 5th position in the gradings. Punjab Kings after today yet again was awful with their 120. Rajasthan Royals depleted with Stokes, Stokes and Archer, and even more problems they've got with their side. They look like the bottom two. You'd argue that probably SRH, despite winning today, will take a lot to get up to the top 4. They may hover around that 5th, 6th position with the likes of KKR and CSK at the moment. I think are probably more favoured to take that 4th position. But of course, today will tell, because CSK, when I've stamped their approval, they win today. CSK win today. In terms of the actual net run rate, at this point in time, they could well be first, depending on RCB's first with their next match. That'll bring up, if RCB win their next match, they'll be clear leaders without having lost the match. But CSK could jump into even 2nd on the net run rate. So that's a significant change. CSK look like they're vying for the top 4, certainly. Norman, America is not giving raw for making the vaccine. I'm not sure what's happening exactly in America with vaccines. It's a dog's breakfast around the whole world. There's been some varying levels of vaccine production and distribution. India has its problems, as you know, as well, with the sheer weight of numbers. But and CSK are back to where they belong, people are saying. Interesting. Certainly with, and I'll go through, just read out the size for you for CSK. You have Gaikwad and Faf Triple C opening the batting. Moeen Ali, Suresh Raina, Rayudu, Jadeja, fantastic. What a great fielder. Dhoni, of course. Sam Curran, champion. Shardul Thakur, of course, significant. Deepak Chahar, who bowled particularly well last match. And Nagidi, now he's in there. It'll be interesting to see how he plays. He certainly can bowl well, I should say. But Bravo, a pretty handy batter. CSK look very strong. KKR, Nitish Rana, who has been batting well with Shubman Gill. That's a pretty good opening pair. Tripathi, not bad either. Morgan needs to fire. Long way from at his best. Dinesh Karthik also needs to fire. Andre Russell, well, he's up now like a yo-yo, but yeah, more good than bad. Pat Cummins, a little bit disappointed with him so far, as I was with Meredith and oh my gosh, Meredith and Richardson. Both were dropped. Awful, and they probably deservedly so. I think the actual Punjab Kings did a better job with their selection. Then you got Nagaroti, and also Sunil Nareen, Chakravarti, and Krishna. So the KKR bowls, pretty good. Yeah, I'd say they're pretty good. And they've elected the bowl first, so they're putting CSK into bat, which is probably a good toss for them. It's probably improving their chances of winning the match, but I still think CSK. That's my thoughts at this stage of the match. So we're waiting on both Monty Panesar, and we're also waiting on Anesha to join me to discuss a culmination, a little bit of the match which has just occurred, which was a bit of a shellacking for the Punjab Kings. 120 is awful. SRH, Sunrisers Hyderabad, actually handled it very well, 1 for 121. They needed to do that. They needed to stamp a big thumping victory, and they did. Warner was admirable, almost run out again, as I said earlier. But Bairstow certainly has to be kept that side. So you've got the 4 of the non-Indians. Well, you've got 3 at the top of the order. The top 3 are from England, Australia, and New Zealand. That is Warner, Bairstow, and Williamson. With the 4th player is obviously Rashid Khan. So Jason Hole's going to find it hard to get into the side now, if the way things are going, even though he deserves to be there. Zimbabwe gave away the match, both batting and bowling. Yeah, Zimbabwe were pretty disappointing today. But look, give them some credit. They're playing international cricket. Pakistan are they're no mugs. They've done a gradually in South Africa. They're cleaning up a lot of the so-called lesser side very well. Who will win today? Samir Rizvi, if you're talking about this match, I would argue CSK. I'm just going to see who's on. Yes, look. You can join. You can join.
Hello.
You can join.
Send me the link.
Okay. Now, Naisha's lost the link. I thought she had the link, but she obviously didn't. There she's coming on now. So it's interesting. I've always talked about the top 3 sides, top 3 players in a side. That is the opening batters in the first drop. With Gaikwad, Du Plessis, and Moeen Ali, I wouldn't say that's the best top 3 I've ever seen, but you know. We're on.
Oh, okay. So you have been doing the show since the.
I've started already. I'm just now. Anisha Tucker, everyone, we all know her as our new co-host. In fact, host, I should say, not co-host. And you are looking resplendent in your canary yellow top there. Look, even the namings, you're in sync with your name below as well. The colours are the same.
But I thought you were going to point me out that you're wearing the CSK color.
I'm sorry. How can I forget that? CSK, obviously.
So, yes, because we have the game right now. We're going to talk about Chennai Super Kings and we're going to talk about Kolkata Knight Riders. But before that, to all your viewers on Eyes on Cricket with Norman, let me tell them I'm a little late this time. But, being the host, I have to go for the patent introduction for all of you out there. That welcome to the second header with Anisha Thakkar on Eyes on Cricket with Norman Korchnay.
Thank you very much.
I love your captain.
It's a pleasure to have you. You are every photograph of you, Anisha, no matter what you're wearing, where you are, what time of the day, you look magnificent, and your smile is too much, far too much.
Thank you. Now, from my smile, let's go ahead with the cricket. First. Let's talk about the last match we had, another match at Chepauk, another low-scoring game. I think Punjab Kings couldn't adapt to the surface or the condition. 120 was never going to be a tough target for Hyderabad. And in the end, they won the match comprehensively.
Absolutely.
I mean, this season, I think this has been a trend this season that every match is a low-scoring match. Every match is a low-scoring match. Why is this happening? We really need to figure this out. Why is this happening?
If you want my opinion why it's happening, you can blame pitches, but that's not sufficient. I do not want to blame pitches. The batters are all aware of the conditions they're playing on. It's not Newton. They're out there practicing. They're playing on similar pitches, you could argue, in their practice matches. There's a lot of centre wicket practice that takes place too. Centre wicket practice means you're playing on the pitch, literally, which you're going to play a match. So there's no excuses for them. The reality is, it just seems to be some good bowling. There's some very good bowling out there too. I mean, Rashid Khan, oh my God, what a bowler. Tremendous bowler. And so I think it's a combination of some very good bowling and substandard batting performances. It's more to do with that. But it's early on, isn't it? I can't wait to see more about AB de Villiers. Now, AB de Villiers has proven to everybody how you bat on these slow turning wickets. The way he batted in these previous innings was electric, and Maxwell. Those two have shown the rest of the competition how to bat in death overs, batting last. Would you agree?
So did you give your viewers the news about the toss for the second match of the second game of the day and the playing 11? Did you give that?
I did do that. I thought I wouldn't miss that opportunity. But you can talk about that if you like, please, because the viewers that are coming on late as well.
So first of all, as you have already mentioned, I'm sure that KKR has won the toss and they have chose to bowl. So do you think, Norman, that's a good decision?
Considering the makeup, they've made a few changes to the side, as you would be aware as well. I think that they're very confident about their ability to run down a score, and that's what they've done. They've thrown the other team in to bat and allow themselves to be the ones to bat second. I think that the likes of Russell certainly are going to be the ones. They need to test themselves, and they believe they can do it. So I think it's the right decision. I think it's a very risky decision, but a very bold decision at the same time.
And there have been quite many changes. They have KKR has they have rested Bravo for this game. I mean, CSK have rested Bravo for this game. So Ngiri comes in place of Bravo. So I'm sure you have given this news to your viewers.
Yes, I have. But I believe that is certainly, I think, a good thing. I'm very happy the way that both Morgan and Dhoni talked about the players that are not playing. They said that Harbhajan Singh misses out. And that's in the case of...
is back.
Exactly. I like the way they're saying that missing out or had chosen to be rested. The word dropped.
But here Norman, Narine has been chosen in place of Shakib. I mean, sorry, Narine is back for Shakib. So do you think that's a good choice?
Shakib's been a bit disappointing, to be honest with you, so far, and he's got out to some very poor shots. And Narine deserves his chance. So I would argue that's a necessary change.
All right.
Shakib, they're talking about that's happened, and they didn't say the word dropped. They use none of those wording, but effectively he's been dropped. He hasn't played well. And
also the main worry for Chennai Super Kings is the form of Ruturaj Gaikwad. Do you see Robin Uthappa coming in place of Ruturaj?
It's not far away. I think he's going to have to get his act together in the next.
Ruturaj is already playing. Ruturaj is playing.
No.
Yes, he is in playing 11.
He's in the playing 11, yes. What I'm getting at, this in the next, say, game or two will be very relevant because we know Dhoni gives his players a long berth to actually play well. That gives them as much opportunity to play well, but his time's starting to run thin. But CSK, if they win today and win well, there won't be too many changes to the side because effectively CSK, if they win today with their net run rate, could be first temporarily.
Right.
And that's, I mean, obviously we're waiting for RCB to play their fourth match, which will bring them back up to first if they win, which they should win. But temporarily, CSK on paper are actually running first with a net run rate. That is no one's decision. That was not what I was thinking either. But it does tell me one thing, that RCB, DC, and the likes of MI are certainly the top three, but CSK now has to be included as the fourth side. And I think there's a KKRvsSRH, they're struggling, they're up and down. Will make up the next 5 and 6 positions. There's no doubt Rajasthan Royals and Punjab Kings are going to languish at last spot. The way the Punjab Kings batted today was awful. The only thing is there is a redeeming possibility that SRH might get their act together. And KKR, if they win today, could in fact, and they won the toss, and they've put the strength of their risky decision.
You know what is happening with Kolkata Knight Riders team? They are not having enough, not getting enough from the batters. I think that is their real concern. What is going wrong with the batters with Kolkata Knight Riders team?
Shubman Gill.
They were struggling in Chennai pitch. They were struggling in Chennai pitch first, and but in Wankhede they were good.
Yes,
so
yes.
Today it will be interesting to see that how the batters perform.
Absolutely. I mean, they're top three. Raj, depending on how he plays, is one that's worthy of being there. Gill and Tripathi are batting admirably. Owen Morgan is the biggest disappointment for me, along with Dinesh Karthik. They're the ones that are seriously out of form. And Owen Morgan's been out of form for a long time. This is not the last few games. Most of this entire season, Owen Morgan's not been in form. And I think as captain, he needs to fight. All captains out of all the teams are significant batters in their teams.
So do you think Morgan's batting form is hampering his captaincy form because you're talking about him?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. And Brendan McCullum, I think rather cleverly, some people are arguing that he shouldn't have actually done it so openly. He's had a good old go at his team and the way they've played, and that may stir them up. It may have been a ploy on behalf of McCullum, and that's McCullum. McCullum has his heart on his sleeve. He wants to play and play well from the start. He wants to go for it. And I think this is a pivotal game for KKR. They really need to come out firing. They've done the bold thing about bowling first. They have to win this match to stamp their chance of getting back into the top four potentially. But CSK, from my mind, are proving old army, Matt Dad's army, yes, but a very steady Dad's army. I just wanted to bring to your attention, Anisha, we've got one of our full members of my platform, Biram Irani, here. And he's giving you he said you're pretty. That's very, he means it nice. He's a very, very nice man. Biram Irani, as you can see, by his coloration, he's actually one of our members. And we often bring him.
Please ask him, does he just watches this show because I'm pretty, or he actually loves this show as we talk a lot about cricket?
Biram Irani, no, here we go. This is a true old school, the best school. He's a favour of the old school, best school scenario. So Biram Irani's been with us for some time, but he's obviously happy to see you. But he knows that you're good looking, of course, but it's your intellect with cricket is another string to your bow, feather in your cap. Absolutely. No, your analysis so far has been point blank. No, what's the word for it? Not point blank. On point, I'll say. I don't like on point. I hate on point. Let's say it's been spot on. That's a better way to put it.
That's a better word. Spot on.
But I'm going to test you. Most people, and I say this a lot, the likes of Owen Morgan, the likes of KKR, the likes of, that's my term. And I'm not being, that is my term. But I've noticed, I use that a lot. Debashis uses the likes of. It's a very commonly used term. But I like that, but not overusing it. There's words you need to use which are your own, and that's important. But don't you ever say, Anisha, don't you ever say chase. I've elected to chase. I'll get quite naughty. I'll get quite angry if you said it. Would you elect to chase when you play? You don't elect to chase. You elect to bat or bowl. You don't. Bowl. You don't. Yeah. You don't chase. That's. Yeah. If you're chasing, that means you're behind. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who wants to be behind?
Yeah. So next time we just talk about we bat or we bowl.
Exactly. You never said chase. You're very good. But some people say, "Oh, I elected to chase." What a load of garbage! You don't elect to chase. It's silly. Absolutely silly. Now Monty is joining us. Monty's favourably late. He likes to see you on first. I think that's what he wants to see you on first. I'll get him on.
The other day we were having a good chat on Facebook, and he was asking me that what's so great about Kolkata? What's like living in Kolkata? And I asked him the same question: what's like living in London?
What did you say?
He's like, great.
Oh, he's a lovely guy. He's one of my favourite cricketers of all time. He's a lovely bloke. Everybody gets along with him. He's such an easy guy to get along with. He's so engaging, and he's very, very, very much an aficionado. He's very well educated, by the way, as well. So, Barami,
let's just get back to the previous game which we had between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Punjab Kings. Finally, we get to see Williamson playing tonight. So now I think, there will be some stability in the middle order of Sunrisers Hyderabad after they got Williamson. And I think Warner will be able to play aggressively, knowing that Williamson is back in their lineup.
Absolutely. I think that it frees Warner and Bairstow up now. They can be free to bat as they normally. Exactly. That's a very good point. And I think Williamson calms a team, gives confidence about a team. There's a lot of discussion about potentially Warner transition to Williamson as captain. We'll see whether that happens. But I think ultimately he is the hope now for Sunrisers Hyderabad, Williamson's place. But that means that you've got Williamson, Bairstow, and Warner, three non-Indians in the top order. It leaves only one, and that's Rashid Khan. And that means just Jason Holder isn't going to go. Which is sad. We'll see. Well, the game has actually started, by the way, so I can see that Gaikwad's batting with his partner, Faf Triple C. I want to just quickly talk about the top three of both sides. Ask me some questions about that. You ask me any thoughts, anything you'd like to know from me about the top three from both sides.
There's a lot of questions, rather.
That's right. Both. I think that Raja and Faf Triple C.
Okay, now the match has already started, and we actually forgot to have a quick prediction on the second game of the double header. We totally forgot that. So I'm going to start with you, and then you're going to ask me the same question. So who do you think?
Okay, why not? I'm saying CSK.
CSK.
Without a doubt. Why is that? What do you say?
Because I'm wearing yellow. Why is that so? Why are you going for CSK?
No, not because you're wearing yellow. See, I'm going for CSK because, quite frankly, they've showed to me in the last few games that they've won the last two quite handsomely. There's a nice older style balance to their team. The fact that Dhoni has given credit to some of these players and given them the chance to mold and improve. They're improving each match. That's what I like. Kolkata Knight Riders is being very unstable, not at all in the position to do what they're meant to be doing. But who knows? KKR could get up today, but at the moment I'm saying CSK. But having seen you wearing yellow, I don't know whether you're okay. Is your head saying, or your shirt and head is saying CSK, but your heart's saying KKR? Is that right?
See, that's a very tough question for me. Being a KKR girl for quite many years, I'm always a big fan of KKR. But when you see and when you observe the game, you feel that you should go for Chennai Super Kings. Also, to your viewers, let me give you a news that MS Dhoni's parents have tested positive. They are in the hospital, though they are stable right now. But I believe that we all can pray for his parents for a speedy recovery. In this tough situation, this man is playing, and we know that who MS Dhoni is. In the last match, he showed that his captaincy was at par. He was actually celebrating his 200th wicket with his captaincy for Chennai Super Kings. And today we get to see him again playing for Chennai Super Kings, as he has no other choice. But at the same time, he's going through a tough time as his parents are not well, though they are stable right now. But for all your viewers, we all can pray for his parents to have a speedy recovery.
Very nice of you to say. That's a very warm-hearted thought. He's a lovely man, MS Dhoni, and he's so. I think I may have told you there's a great video of my mother and MS Dhoni spending time together in Sydney. It's very beautiful. Have you seen it?
Sorry?
Have you seen the video of my mother with MS Dhoni?
No, I didn't.
I'll have to show you.
Ought to send me that.
I will.
In my personal channel.
And Debash has put that on these platforms a few years ago. And the way he did that, I witnessed the whole thing. He was such a sweetheart. He was such a lovely man. My mother was taken by him. And I think the man is an incredible person. And how it goes out to his parents. But it seems to be a very common problem at the moment where a lot of people's parents and families are struck down by COVID-19, as you would know. And some of them have met with death. Some have met with some disability. It's been horrific. And I really, really love what you do, Anisha, because I've seen a lot of your posts, whether it be on Instagram or other platforms, and you've been very much there calling out for people to take care, stay at home, wear masks, stay away from people.
Very, very important right now, because not only see, I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for everybody out there. You have to take care of your family. Nobody else will do that. And if you take care of your family, eventually everybody else is safe. That's the reason you have to stay safe, you have to stay at home. Even if there's an emergency, only go out wearing your mask, sanitize your hands again and again. This is exactly what I can tell you right now. Rest is up to you. You have to take care of yourself first, then only everybody else will take care. So please, please, please follow the COVID protocols, whatever the government says, because that is very important right now.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Only if we live, then only we get to see Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochenik once again.
Exactly. Some people have said they've fallen asleep watching Eyes on. No, they haven't. That's another story. We've got now Birami. He's making some comments. Now, I did not promote this thought, but he's saying,
after Norman, they are looking for a backup all-rounder after Jadeja.
I mean, clearly, that's possibly true. I mean, my fielding in this day was on par with Jadeja. I was quite close to him. I mean, really, I think Jadeja actually watched videos of me fielding, but it's another story. We won't talk about it. Birami also likes to fish in Kolkata.
Yes, oh, that, I'm a Gujarati, but I'm a Bengali first. So that is my favorite fish. I love that like anything. So once you visit Kolkata, make sure that you give me a call. I'll make you eat hilsa at the best of places in Kolkata.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, here's a question probably for me. Read it out for me.
Or Williamson. See, we can't really choose between two. Both has a very positive character. Both is best in what they do. We can't really have a choice between them. Like Norman, can you do that? I mean, they are the best in whatever they do.
You could add Steve Smith to that. You can. There's a foursome, isn't there? There's Kohli, Williamson, Smith, and the fourth would be there's a person I've forgotten, but I mean even Babar Azam as well, maybe in that league. But I'm going to say Kohli. For all three formats.
I'm on the fence. I'm not going for a choice.
Okay. Well, you asked me. I'm giving you a choice.
So that's Chitta Das has asked you. So that's why I'm saying that she has not mentioned that this question is for you or Anisha. That is me. So I can't choose between them. So that's a very difficult question for me. But Norman goes with Virat.
Now there's a question here about Williamson is more of an all-rounder, so we can't compare. I don't think Williamson's an all-rounder. With all due respect, Williamson's not an all-rounder. He's a great player, but he's not. I wouldn't deem him to be an all-rounder. That's a bit of a stretch, a little bit of a stretch. But I mean, so where is Monty? Monty said to me emphatically, and he's been talking to you too. But Monty's on about 95 channels, by the way, only 95 at once. Oh. But he gives preference. But he's got a special spot for my channel. He's on here very, very often. He made a point of being there when you were there last. We might catch him up later, but I wanted to talk to you. There are some potential people that I'll be bringing on the show, like Steve Waugh. I told you, I talked to him a couple of days ago. So when he's on, you're going to be talking to him. You're going to be the go-to, not a KKR girl, more the Eyes on Cricket girl, we'll call you.
Yeah.
EOC girl. And then you'll be and then your eyes will be on cricketers.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. What would be the first question you would ask Steve Waugh? I want to know what comes to your thoughts about Steve Waugh. What do you think about Steve Waugh?
That I have not planned yet.
Well,
definitely. When I go for that question, I'm sure that you'll be in awe.
Now, he has got an amazing book out. Have you seen his book, The Spirit of India? It is he's taken photographs, basically himself, with some help. They've won awards recently, some of the most magnificent photos of India. People playing cricket, people with disability playing cricket, people in different parts of India. It is the most spellbinding book you've ever seen. I'll actually show it to you. It weighs a ton. The book's about that thick. And every photograph's about as big as me. Massive photographs. Now, what else we got here? I think that I'm going to give Monty. I like doing this. I like to ring Monty while we're on air. Monty Pennis, let's ring him while we're on air, shall we? He's probably on another channel and he sees his phone vibrating and Now Monty was with me in the World Cup of 2019, and it was magnificent. We had a great time together. We were there. That was, of course, England versus New Zealand. And, of course, New Zealand are once again returning to England to play in a so-called final against India. And that'll be a fantastic match. In fact, I'll get you to help me cover that. And depending on budgets, we might have to, if COVID allows it, and all the conditions, we might get you to, you're going to be coming to Australia.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to.
Have you been to Australia?
You have sent me an information on my Insta. You have DM'd me that. Would you like to talk about that on your show?
About the incident that I sent you. Well, there were two things I probably wanted to talk to you about. One was and David Graveney, who's the chairman of selectors of ECB, would be able to talk to you more about that. England have changed the structuring of their so-called selection process, giving the captain of the team almost autonomy to decide who's selected in the team with the coaching and the captaincy staff. So they've taken away from an actual selector on tour to give it back to the captain, which is quite a revelation, a magnificent thing. That's, well, not magnificent, but it's an interesting thing. I don't know whether, I think selectors are important, but let's see whether their thoughts work. They want to give captaincy more and decision-making and selection-making to the captain, which is very much what David Graveney also believes in. The captain rules the dressing room. The captain rules. Magnificent. They need to have that charge. The other thing I sent you was around the 8-year ban of Heath Streak.
I was talking about that, yeah.
No, I know you were. I wanted to throw that other bit in first, but the Heath Streak situation is a diabolical one. It saddens me that a man like Heath Streak, who was an incredible player for East Zimbabwe, not unlike what Hansi Cronje did for South Africa, they both were great players, great leaders of their countries, seem to stoop this low. Yeah. Very sad.
Yeah. As far as I know, he was a great all-rounder of his team, and he was a part of Team KKR also. And we have Monty back. Hello and welcome once again.
Yeah, hello. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah. It is our pleasure to have you, Monty. And also, every time we ask you to join in our show, you are in the middle of the match, you miss the match, and we call you.
Yes,
so that's why the sad face.
Yeah, very much. He always gives me a call when I'm in the middle of watching a cricket match.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
No, he's definitely doing that. I can see that on his face.
Well, I had to switch the volume off because I had the cricket on in the background.
I knew that.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you want ask questions?
So now that Monty is here, we're gonna have a quick. We're gonna take a quick summary from the previous match, which was Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Punjab Kings. Monty, what is your call? I mean, 120. That's too less for a target for Sunrisers Hyderabad. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah. Look, Punjab Kings. I think they lost too many early wickets, and then Chris Gale again didn't really get many runs, and then the run out with Brewer, and it was just probably the worst possible start they could have. You kind of thought that with the flat pitch batting first, they were able to put on a good total, but the innings kind of collapsed really, and they just sort of struggled after that.
Also, we were having a discussion on this match, the second game of the double header. We were actually talking about that KKR's main concern is that they are not getting enough of the batters. So we were actually having a discussion on what is wrong, like what is going wrong with the batters. If you could just give us a glimpse of that. Yeah,
with KKR, it's their top three really. I think they're just not firing. Rana and Ajay Pravedi, they're both obviously batting well, but Shubman Gill is, I think with the pressure that he's on now, everyone, there's a bit more added attention now. Everyone knows what he's capable of doing in all forms, and so there's a bit more of a spotlight on him. And Owen Morgan as well. I think he's a little bit stubborn at 4, isn't he? He's not going to move. That's the position he wants. I think he's better at 3 because get your best batter in early as possible. That's the way I think. If your team is struggling, that's what you should do. And he is their best batter, but he likes to hang in the background once the team has scored a few runs, so he can get in there and hit a few boundaries. But I think he needs to take more of a bigger role, because I think that would really help KKR with their batting problems.
Yeah, Norman, you were asking him something. Go ahead.
No, I totally agree with Monty. Monty, whatever Monty says is hard to deny. Monty's got a very good handle on, especially the English factor. And Owen Morgan, I mean, Owen Morgan's very stubbornly at number 4. He needs about 3 or bat lower, but somewhere else. He's misused there. He's not showing his best, and we need to see that, don't we, Monty? He's overdue for a big innings. And I think that as a captain, he needs to lead from the front, and he hasn't done that. So I think that's particularly relevant indeed. I must say, though, the top 3 batters are the most important of the team. And if Owen Morgan's one of their best bats and he's a captain, he should be in that top 3, as is Warner and a whole batch of other players that are captains for their teams. Samson, the whole lot. So really, it's a trend that needs to be understood by Owen Morgan.
All right, and as you both are watching the match, and I'm not doing that right now, so why don't you give a viewer of what is exactly happening at the power play? Because all those who are watching us, they are definitely not watching the match.
Well, Chennai Super Kings are batting like with great gusto. They're none for 40 at this stage, and Faf du Plessis hitting out. He's striking at 180 and it's doing fantastically well. Very unlike Faf du Plessis, to be honest with you. And the bowling from Kolkata Knight Riders is struggling a little bit. So I think Chennai Super Kings, if they keep going, are going to be in for a very, well, let's hope, a reasonably large score, making it very hard for KKR to come back.
Also, Monty, in every game, this season's every game, we see that toss is very, very crucial for each and every match.
Yeah, it is, because I think teams which are batting first, they win the toss, bat first, they tend to win. But unless, obviously Punjab Kings didn't do very well today. But KKR, it surprised me that it's a due factor as well. If you've got a team that, your team is based on the spinners slightly, then you're going to, bowl first, obviously. And I think that's what they've done, with Sunil Narayan. They've obviously gone with him. But, Harbhajan Singh's got a great record at Mumbai when he played for Mumbai Indians. So, he's under tremendous pressure, Owen Morgan, to be honest. And if he doesn't win today, there's going to be a lot of question marks over his captaincy. Since he's taken over the captaincy, he hasn't really fired. And some of the decisions he's making, you look at Chennai Super Kings, they bring in Lungini, and it's an ideal call because in Mumbai, the wickets in Mumbai, fast bowlers are taking the wickets. But, you bring in Sunil Narayan and you drop Harbhajan Singh, who's had a great record at Mumbai. If they lose again, then you're going to think, why are you making sort of illogic decisions when you look at the other team with Dhoni? He's obviously making good decisions.
The wicket-taking ability of Harbhajan Singh is undeniable. And he reminds me of you, Monty, because you were very, very much a wicket-taker as well. And that's the significance. Whenever Harbhajan bowls, when he first started or towards the end of his career, he always knew wickets were on his mind. And I think that's the key to a spin bowler. Don't you, Monty?
Well, the thing is, I know you say that, but then why did Owen Morgan bring him on for that 1 over on the 18th over against RCB? And there was 2 right-hand batters when you could have just brought on maybe Sakalab and Hassan. So, some of the sort of decisions that Owen Morgan is kind of making is a little bit like, a little bit strange, really. It's not really the Owen Morgan that we know. So from that basis, I think, I think he's under pressure, to be honest, and under extreme pressure. So, this year he needs to get him somewhere. If he doesn't, I think they'll get rid of him as captain.
Does that also mean that England may have some second thoughts about him as well?
Yeah, well, if they don't get into the semi-finals this year, I reckon after the T20 World Cup, they'll probably bring in Joss Buttler because they need to, after a successful World Cup, they need to transition into the T20 and have a good get into the semi-finals at least. And if they struggle to do that, then yeah, they may move over to Joss Butler, who seems like the ideal option for the England team.
Yeah,
absolutely. Monty is now. Oh, did you want to talk about the selection stuff, about the changes to the ECB selection process, where the captain of the team is now more of the true selector on tour? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I think Ed Smith not giving of his duties is again, he's obviously he's a lecturer as well at university, and maybe he's taken a lot of his time doing the lecturing and this kind of duties, but also it's the decision making at the top. They obviously feel like they don't have the right man to make the sort of decisions on rest and rotation, that sort of policy that they brought in, and they probably are a bit confused at the moment with when it comes to making these kind of decisions, because they didn't take the India tour as seriously as they should have done, and with the New Zealanders coming over, the 2 test matches, I think they think it's the right time to make some changes, because then they just feel like they want someone who's a bit more in the digital age. We live in the digital age at the moment. Things are, sports are different as well, the way you make decisions now than maybe 10-15 years ago. And I think Ed Smith's a little bit old school, I would say, in his thinking and in his processes. And when you look at India and you think, wow, look how they can pull out 2 great teams. They're probably thinking, why England can't do that? Why are we not producing the same form of talent coming through? We have similar resources. So I think that's what they're seeing. They're seeing, we can be a stronger side, and therefore they want to, incorporate some changes.
Excellent.
Also, the match has started, and we both have done our predictions. So how about Monty doing his prediction about today's game?
Yeah, look, I think it's probably 49-0. So probably Chennai looking a much stronger team, much better team.
That's cheating. You're looking at the score. No,
well, no, it's because you've got a yellow top on, so I'm going to go with you and support Chennai.
Okay.
Look what you've done. You've influenced us.
Yeah, that's the logic behind it. So people say, why do you support Chennai? It's because it's the colour. If you wear a yellow top, then I'll go with Chennai. If she was wearing a purple top today, then I would have gone with Kolkata. So, this is how simple our logic is.
So next time I have to decide what I wear, because I have to see that which team is stronger, and then I will wear whatever.
Well, you're obviously giving it away by wearing a yellow top that you think Chennai are a stronger side.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Well, there's the answer. Wear a top which is half purple, half yellow. Then you're really confused.
Yes.
Yeah. Then then you'll confuse us all.
If purple is on my left, then Monty is gonna say that I will go with KKR, and with yellow on my right, Norman is gonna say I'm gonna go with CSK.
Oh, this is getting too scientific now. It's getting too scientific. Oh my God, where are we going with this topic? This is crazy.
You pick a team basically on the color of the top that you got on.
Don't use
That's hilarious.
The color of your lipstick, then we'll be doubly confused.
Oh, you're gonna confuse us now. Now we're gonna be so confused.
This is going to be great. I think we're going to have some fun through these double-header, guys. If we get together like this, we're going to have some real fun.
Yeah.
If the game's boring, we come on air and we'll start talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But look, these caps and these tops, I've been told I look like a butcher shop owner. Yes, I do. I'm going to get better. What would you like? A bit of steak or a bit of chicken? No. The fact is, I'm going to change it. This is my first step. Give me a break, guys. I'm not a fashionista like Anisha is. Actually, why don't I get you to design my tops, for God's sake? So
first you need to decide that you'll go for tops or you'll go for T-shirts. Then I will decide.
Okay, we'll go for the collars. Well, Monty, what do you reckon? Collar shirts, what should I go for? Or both?
It's funny how you make it always about yourself, Norman. You're good at that, aren't you?
Oh, how dare you? I mean, okay. What Monty's just jealous because he hasn't got Monty Pennis all over his top.
No, I like how Norman, he always switches it. We have a 10-20 minute chat, and then it has to be a bit about Norman in there. And it's like, all right, go on. Yeah, Norman, the collar shirt looks great, and the cap, it looks really good. Oh, it's got your name on it as well. Oh, it's amazing, Norman. You're looking so good today, man.
You're embarrassing me.
You're missing that crystal ball, Monty.
Sorry?
You're missing that crystal ball.
I don't. Well, if I had a crystal ball right now, then I would tell you what's in it, but I don't have one.
Well, mine says that CSK are going to win, and Monty is going to be the leader of a country at some stage. Well, we're not sure which country yet, but he'll be a leader of one of the countries. He's politically motivated, this man. He could well be the leader of one of the parties in England. I think that's your future. I'm seeing that here. Mark my words.
Well, I'm seeing you to have a health drink out of that.
Health drink.
Yeah.
There are chocolate milk stains towards the bottom, and that's all you're going to see on that. There's nothing healthy about that. And funny how biscuit tin's very close as well, which is cool. Just happened to be near me. Just happened to be.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that. What a fluke. Yeah. All right, over to you, Anisha. You've done a magnificent job. Look at the fun we're having. It's all because of you.
You're being very modest. All right, so almost we are on the verge of wrapping up the show, but before that, we're having a great game. And so, I really want to thank all your viewers that I don't know they're watching the match or not. If they're not watching, they're watching your show right now. So that's a great thing. They are missing a great game and watching our show. The entire point goes to Norman for this, because he has built this kind of audience for him. He has given such kind of information, news. He has analyzed his shows on cricket. That's why they are here tonight. So a big thank you to all of you once again. Don't forget to stay safe, because that's the most important factor right now. Wear your mask, stay safe. Sanitize your hands as much as possible. Also pray for MS Dhoni's parents for a speedy recovery. That's what he needs right now, as he's playing through a very tough situation. Parents being in hospital, he's playing on the field. It's not easy at all. He's doing to entertain you all, for all the viewers. So it is your duty to be safe. Keep watching Eyes on Cricket with Norman. I will be there. Monty will be there during the double headers. Monty is actually a constant for Norman for all the shows, maybe. But I'll be there on the double
not quite all the shows.
Yeah.
but Monty is so well loved. Everybody asks for Monty. Everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. He's a wonderful person. And we're very blessed to have him. And Anisha's going to be doing a lot of one-on-one interviews. She's got a lot of things planned. Steve, Monty.
We're actually planning quite many things, like the one-on-one interviews with all the cricket personalities, the cricketers. Yes, also we were planning for some other things, right, Norman? That
also fan discussions.
The fan discussions, and also we are planning to change the timing for the double headers, right? So that your viewers can watch the match and enjoy the match right now.
Absolutely.
So that they can get a good hold of the show as well as the match. So we're going to plan this and give you a quick update. Like, I'm going to give you a quick update on when this show is going to happen. Also, I'm going to come on the one-on-one interviews and the fan discussions, right? The fan interactions.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you're going to get to see a lot of me in Eyes on Cricket with Norman. Till then, let's enjoy a great match between CSK versus Kolkata Knight Riders. And yes, have a very good evening with this great second game of the this particular IPL season, the 14th edition of IPL season. And we have a second header, the second game of the day. Let's enjoy together. Thank you once again.
Ciao. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Lonnie. Thanks, Anisha.
Yeah. Okay, Norman. Quick